You stood in an empty apartment after the move, or sat across from a partner whose love had changed, and you felt new, but also lost. Who are you, now that everything familiar is gone or quietly shifting? To be a self is to be grounded transparently in a relation to oneself. Søren Kierkegaard. When life breaks its patterns, through a breakup, a career change, or even a long illness, a strange silence follows. You might notice it as you scroll through old photos and feel disoriented. The person smiling back at you seems distant or even foreign. Or perhaps you've just introduced yourself at a gathering, only to realize that the words you used, a job title, a relationship label, no longer fit quite right. There are mornings when the mirror shows not just your face, but a lingering uncertainty. Who am I now that the old roles are gone? This uncertainty is deeply human. The anxiety runs deeper than circumstance. It's the tremor beneath the surface when a part of our old life ends. If this is you, know that it is not weakness or failure. It is evidence of how much you cared about them, about the old dreams, about who you thought you were. To question yourself in these moments is not a flaw. It's a mark of your honesty and your willingness to face the unknown. Kierkegaard believed that identity is not something we simply inherit or maintain. Instead, he saw it as an ongoing process, a task we return to again and again. For him, to become a self isn't to find oneself, but rather to stand in honest relation to the shifting ground inside us. Here are 4 ways you might notice doubt and discover stability, inspired by Kierkegaard's thinking. 1. Notice the impulse to define yourself by loss. Try to observe when you say, "I used to be," or "without them, I'm nothing." This is understandable, but it is not the whole story. Who are you when no one is watching? Even in the quietest hour, parts of your unique self, your humor, your care, your stubbornness, remain, waiting to be seen again. 2. Recognize the urge to rush a new label or identity. Sometimes, after change, we want to fill the gaps quickly. Job titles, statuses, new routines. Kierkegaard would gently remind you that the most authentic self emerges when we linger in the unknown. Allow yourself time to simply be, as uncertain as that feels. Your self is not a finished project, but a living question. 3. Practice self-reflection not as interrogation, but as gentle curiosity. Instead of demanding answers, "Who am I now?" try asking, "What am I drawn to now? What do I grieve most? What quiet thing in me is asking to be heard?" Write, walk, make art, or sit in silence. Trust that these small moments of honesty will lay new stones beneath your feet. For remember, it is relationships, not just roles, that shape and sustain us. Reach for someone who sees you beyond your former labels. Conversation, even wordless presence, is what Kierkegaard saw as grounding. In being witnessed, by yourself or by another, you find the courage to hold your changing self with more compassion. If this speaks to something in you, consider subscribing. I'm building a quiet corner of the internet for people who want to understand love, attachment, and the unspoken patterns between us. Share your story in the comments if you feel like it. If today was heavy, please remember, your sense of self is not lost. It's being remade in ways you may not see yet. In these unsteady seasons, you are still worthy of kindness, still entitled to move slowly. Every honest question you ask is a step toward your real self, not away from it. You do not have to know who you are completely for your becoming to matter.